Hi sewing friends, welcome back for another video. My name is Kira, Island Socialist on Instagram, and my blog is islandsocialist.com. In today's video, I will be sharing the Hey June Patterns Trevi top. This is another pattern that I made from my holiday wardrobe collection. If you have not watched those videos, I'm going to link it in the iCard as well as down below. So I said I would come back and do an individual review of every pattern, and today we're talking all about the Trevi top by Hey June Patterns. Now this is a pattern I've attempted to make before and it was a complete fail, so I wanted to have a go at it again, this time in the top version, because the first time I tried the dress version, I went completely from scratch all over again. I went through the size chart, picked a new size, just completely ignored anything from the previous dress. So the Trevi pattern is like a swing style top and dress, so it's fairly fitted at the top and then it goes out at the bottom, as you can see here. Now this one is shorter than on the actual pattern, so it does not go out as wide because I shortened mine a ton, and I will go into that shortly. This is what the back of the pattern looks like. So if you made a dress, you will have the buttons all the way down the back. Of course, the neck and the arms are finished with bias binding, and the hem is finished with a narrow hem. So all in all, this pattern is pretty easy to put together. This pattern has layers, always a plus for me, so I was able to print just the size I needed. And also this pattern comes with a FBA bodice already included, so you can choose either the regular or the FBA according to the difference between the high bust and the full bust measurements. This is always a great addition to a pattern for me. Like any pattern that has an FBA or different cup sizes, I'm going to gravitate toward that pattern before any other. It's just natural because I generally have issues with the bust, and if a pattern does not have this included, then I will need to make a full bust adjustment on my own, which can be a ton of work, and depending on the pattern can just be really confusing. So like I said already, I went according to the size chart and ended up making size 12 with the full bust adjustment piece, and I have absolutely no complaints in terms of sizing except for one little thing, and I actually don't think that has anything to do with the sizing. Right here at this second button, it gapes a little bit, and it's not that it's too small for me, it's just with natural movement. Then obviously if I move like this, then it will gape a little bit, and I do remember that happening with the first dress as well. So I don't think that has anything to do with sizing. I think that is just the nature of the design. So on the dress, I remember having to do a forward shoulder adjustment, and like I've mentioned a ton of times before, this is a common adjustment for me, and I was going to do it on this one, but I completely risked it because the pattern looked like if it would be fine. So I risked it and I went ahead making it without the forward shoulder adjustment, and it's perfectly fine. I have no complaints of the fit in relation to the shoulders and the arms. Perfect fit. What I did have a problem with was how high the neck was. The neck was like, there's this like dip right here, and anytime there is a neckline hitting me right at this dip, I feel like I'm going to choke. It may be because I'm claustrophobic, so anything that hits this high, I have to drop it. So I did drop the neckline ½ inch, and then I did also scoop it a little bit. Am I making any sense? So I dropped it ½ inch, and then I made this curve deeper as well. Now I would recommend drapey fabrics for this pattern, but at the same time I would say don't go too drapey. Like a very lightweight rayon or crepe is going to give you issues with this button placket, because this is one of those button plackets that you interface and then fold over on itself, and generally I would not attempt this type of placket on anything too lightweight. It's going to be skewed and you're gonna have issues lining up the plackets after. This fabric, to be honest, I have no idea what it is, because it does feel like if it hasn't some rayon in it. It's very drapey, but at the same time it's thick enough that I feel like if it may have some cotton in it. And then at the same time, these black parts feel like they're painted, so I'm wondering if it is rayon, but because of the like painted pieces, it stiffens it up a bit. I have no idea, but there was another colorway of this fabric, and as soon as we get off lockdown, I am going to get the other colorway of that fabric, and I'm going to make this exact top because I love the way this design looks with this pattern. Let me know what you guys think. It's kind of like a geometric design, but it also looks slightly tribal. I don't know, it's just really, really artsy and cute. I love it, and I love the colors, and I love the colors on me. So like I said before, I did a narrow hem, and that didn't give me any issues at all, not even at the curves or anything, because I always use a guiding stitch when I'm doing a narrow hem, and that works out perfectly. Like I said before, bias binding on the neck and the armhole. I use black 1/2 inch bias binding, and everything went well. I did top stitch my button plackets very neatly after, and I got through all of my buttonholes. The only one that gave me stress was this top one where it's a little bit thicker. What I suggest is, if you're having a gaping issue, the way that the back of this top fits, well, the way that the top fits on a hole, I feel like if it has enough ease that you only need to undo this first button in order to get it over your head. So if you want, you could probably top stitch this button placket all the way down on this side and nobody has to know. Or if you want, you could just tack hair down from the inside of the top. So I think that is what I will do to avoid this gaping. I mean, even on her right now, it is gaping slightly, and she's actually smaller than I am. So I think that is just natural. In terms of adjustments, like I said, I omitted my usual forward shoulder adjustments. But what I did do, and this is going to sound absolutely crazy, is I whacked off a whopping 5 inches off the length of this pattern. 5 inches. I never noticed how short-waisted I was until I started sewing. I would have never guessed I would be hacking off 5 inches off of a top pattern. So the way my body is set up, right, it's like I'm really short from my shoulders to my waist. Sometimes I have to pinch out or going across to the arm side. But then from my waist down to my crotch is really, really long. So I have a very long torso. I have issues with bodysuits. I have issues with jumpsuits being too short for my torso. But the proportion of my torso is not normal. I'm very short-waisted. So yes, I did hack off 5 inches off this pattern. That being said, that was the particular look I wanted for this trip. However, if I were to make another one, I think I would do it a little bit differently, and I would only hack off 3 inches off the pattern, because I also like a drapey top like this with a button back to be just a little bit longer. And then what I would probably do is let this be the last button and just leave it to open at the bum like a slit. I have seen a lot of pictures in the hashtag that look like that. Let me open this so I could like show you what I'm saying. Right, so essentially the back would look like this without this button if I do make it a little bit longer to accommodate my larger hips. One thing that I could remember is that I think the size chart yardage measurements were a bit excessive. I got this out of 1 yard, and I know I shortened it 5 inches, but I had 1.5 yards of fabric, and I'm pretty sure that even if I had that extra 5 inches, I would be able to get this from the 1.5 yards. So overall, I love this pattern. I love the way it fits. It's really, really cute, especially the button back design feature. The arms are cut in almost like a racer back, so I did have to X my brush straps in the back so that they would not show hair, and that was perfectly fine. I have no issue doing that. I love the way it looks. It's very, very flattering on the shoulders. Remember, I said I did have to lower the neckline, so you want to keep that in mind, because I did see a ton of other reviews where a person said they had to do the same thing. So it's not just me. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say about this top. This is the first thing that I've made from Hey June Patterns. To be honest, I do have a few of their patterns in my stash. I just haven't gotten around to them as yet. So this is the first one that I've made. The dress, I don't know what went wrong with that. I was smaller when I made it, and I did make one size smaller than this at that time. I probably didn't shorten the waist and do all of that stuff like I needed to, because that was early up in my pattern sewing journey. So with this one, I think I made all the changes I needed to make, and like I said, next time I would just add back on a few inches just to make it a little bit more flowy, you know. So yeah, that is my short review of the Hey June pattern strappy top. If you've been eyeing up this pattern, I highly recommend it. If you've never used Hey June patterns before, in my opinion, this is a nice one to start with, especially if you have a larger bust, because there's that FBA bodice included already. So yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on this top. Unfortunately, I did not get any photos of this top on the trip, but I was wearing this when I did my Naomi dress review. I was in the hotel room and I was wearing this top, so you can go back to that video to see what it looks like on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. That is it for me today, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.